Hey, what is going on, guys? This is DK, back at you with another video here to break down the two-game Olympic basketball slate on Saturday. If this is your first time watching, I cover content for NFL, NBA, basketball, daily fantasy sports, as well as for player prop stuff, straight betting, prize picks, Underdog. Underdog, they are the sponsor of today's video. You can use the code DKDFS or the link in the description for a $250 deposit match bonus. Would highly recommend if you're not on Underdog. Been having a lot of success betting their props for the Olympics, NFL preseason as well. If you guys tailed that play that we went over in the video yesterday or 2 days ago, that hit pretty easily. That was Davis Mills over his receiving yards, and who was it? One of the Bears receivers under receiving yards, Freddie Swain, I think. So that easily hit, but yeah, highly recommend it. Again, if you do click the link or use the code and deposit, it really does help support the channel, so greatly appreciate that. And if you look for more content, you can check out my Patreon link in the description. All right, so let's recap today. So right now the games are currently going on. Well, first we got to talk about the early game, right? You guys knew that I was playing Bruno. I played Bruno the first two slates. Both times he got massive foul trouble. So I was so excited to play him today, but he was not on the main slate. I was so tilted about that because I would have full stacked that Brazil game. I would have, with Rui Hachimura out as well, I would have played Bruno with all three of the main Japan guys. So very tilted that was not on the main slate. Also, I touched grass. Just listen to this. I touched grass for once in my life, right? Yesterday, gone for 4 or 5 hours. I come back. I miss a generational wealth opportunity with the Rui news. Because the props are up for 30 minutes once Rui got ruled out. I would have just hammered all the Japan props. They all hit. So the Sharks that feasted, congrats to you guys. Again, that's what I get for leaving my apartment. But we can go over my showdown lineup. Again, the main slate's going on. I have a decent start to the main slate. I am, a little bit tilted or pretty tilted about the Willie Hernangomez faders getting bailed out with random massive foul trouble again. But I got second place in the big tournament in the showdown slate. This is $10 into 325. Bruno Caboclo, right? 90 fantasy points in the captain, finished 33 points, 17 rebounds, 1 assist. You guys see why I was so high in Bruno the previous two slates? Because this is the ceiling that he had, and we were getting him a decreased ownership because the casual players just look at what happened the last couple games and completely avoid. If Bruno did anywhere, if he just had an average game last time, I would have won probably the big tournament. I would have won 10K or 20K, whatever it was. But he fouled out in 13 minutes. So again, that's why I was so tilted about this game not being on the main slate, because I would have full stacked it. But yeah, I want Bruno captain with the three main Japan guys, Menadil, and then Hugh Watanabe. I just need someone cheap. I figured he would play more with Rui Hachimura out. Somehow played less. It's like, how does that make sense? But no complaints. $10 into 325. Also, I absolutely nuked Bruno props everywhere. Tweeted about it. Took his over points prop at 12.5. Took his alt points 20 plus at plus 700. So that was great to see. I also bet Yuki assists earlier too at 6.5 at plus money, and that easily hit too. So great start there. But yeah, I'm tilted that game was not on the main slate because, well, a couple things, right? Tilted that I touched grass for once in my life and I missed the Rui news. And also that the Japan-Brazil game was not on the main slate. All right, let's talk about this two-game slate. So start off with the USA. Now, we already got confirmation of the starters for this game. That's going to be LeBron James, Steph Curry, Devin Booker. Embiid is going to start, and then Drew Holiday. However, Drew Holiday is questionable. So my assumption is if Drew Holiday can't play, Derek White would probably shift in the starting lineup just because they want, a defensive guy out there. Just my guess. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, Embiid is already confirmed. The beat writer already confirmed that Embiid's going to start this game. Now, this game doesn't really matter for the USA, so I do expect the minutes to be spread out. Also, some blowout risk going up against Puerto Rico. So I think all 12 players, if they're all in, will play for the USA. So LeBron James, 9-7. I mean, I don't love the price. If he has an outlier game like he did in game one, so be it. But the USA have nothing to play for. They're massive favorites. Don't think LeBron will play big minutes in this game. Kevin Durant at 8-8, I think it's really hard to click. 22 minutes off the bench, but still, there's other spin-ups in that range I would prefer. Steph Curry has really struggled so far. Really struggled last game, I should say. Again, hard to click him at that price point. Devin Booker feels a little pricey. Like, everyone on the USA feels a little bit pricey. I will say the bigs are probably my favorite play. So Embiid confirmed starting. Had a really bad game. Game one, but this is a smash spot against Puerto Rico, right? Bigs have been destroying Puerto Rico. So I will say, I think Embiid probably my favorite play. I think boxer watchers will completely avoid him. But in a game that doesn't really matter, I would not be surprised when Embiid gets extended a little bit too. Also have interest in Anthony Davis, even though he's expected to come off the bench. I think he's reasonable at 8-3. Bam had a really good game last time out, but with Embiid confirmed starting, I don't really love Bam. Tatum not confirmed starting, kind of hard to go there. Drew Holiday, if he does start, I think is fine at 7K. If he misses, again, I would assume Derek White would start. If White starts, he would be a reasonable value. All right, let's talk about Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico, here's the tricky part about Puerto Rico. They don't really have much to play for, right? I mean, there's no way they're going to beat the USA. They're already 0-2. And last game, they just waved the white flag when they were down big. So does concern me a little bit. I am expecting the starting lineup to be the same. Alvarado, Waters, Condit, Pinheiro, and Romero. Now, obviously, the ceiling is the highest in the two guards, and Alvarado and Waters. Now, I'm torn on what I want to do here, right? Because I think the ownership will be really low, because obviously both played outlier low minutes last time out because they just waved the white flag. But I feel like that's going to really drop their ownership. So on a 2-game slate, like I am very much intrigued by those guys. I think casual players will just completely avoid them. And obviously there's risk, right? They don't really have anything to play for. They're most likely going to get killed here. But if they can keep it somewhat competitive, you know why, right? It's going to be those two guards. Condit at 6'9" had a horrific game last time out, but the price dropped on him. He's reasonable. I played Romero last night. We kind of talked about how he had an outlier bad game in game 1. I knew the casual players would avoid. Game 2, 21 minutes, 21 fantasy points. Very solid. He's their big, good point per minute. The issue obviously is foul concerns, right? He'll be on Embiid most likely, but I do think Romero, probably my favorite play on Puerto Rico. And then Pinheiro, the other starter, 5'4". Again, he's pretty scoring dependent. So that is the worry. 20 and 13 minutes, not ideal first 2 games. Now, Chris Ortiz, this is one where it's like, okay, it's definitely an outlier performance that last time out. 30 minutes, 34 fantasy points, had a good shooting game. If you take a look back at the qualifying games for Chris Ortiz, nothing close to what he did last game. So he's one I feel like will be very over-owned. Now, I'm not saying to fade him, but he's going to be over-owned, right? Because the casual players are going to see the 34.5 fantasy points. They're going to instantly click him. I don't think he's a bad play. My concern with him is just, again, he's going to be over-owned. Clavel, I mentioned how, game 1 was an outlier, how I wasn't really on him. Well, game 2, 22 minutes, 11 fantasy points, right? The positive here with Clavel, though, is the minutes. The minutes have been 20 plus last couple games. He will shoot when he's out there. And if the game blows out, there's a chance he could be on the court there in the blowout. Again, Puerto Rico doesn't really have anything to play for. Devon Reed, 17 and 13 minutes. No real strong takes there. You did see Jordan Howard play good minutes. I played him last slate. I just took the shot. He played 16 minutes, only 9 fantasy points, but 3.8K makes him viable as a dart throw. You did see Ford and Thompson get dusted off, and then Toro played 10 and 12 minutes. So that's Puerto Rico. Let's move on to South Sudan. I think South Sudan will keep their same starting lineup as well. Carlik Jones, Shayak, Gabriel, Omat, and Kual. They really tightened their rotation last time out. I know it's not necessarily the best matchup, but they still have a lot to play for, South Sudan. So Carlik Jones and 9-9, one of my favorite spend-ups. I think it's him, and I think it's Jokic as your top spend-ups on this slate. 37 and 38 minutes for Carlik Jones. Obviously, they have the ball in his hands a ton as well, so he looks really good at the top. Shayak at 7-6 had a okay game, but the minutes were solid, right? 32 minutes, didn't have the best shooting, 4-15. But the price is reasonable for him. He should be the number 2 on offense. And we've seen a couple big games from him in the warm-up games, going for 20 plus. So I think Shayak's solid. Gabriel did avoid foul trouble for most of the game and then fouled out 27 minutes. Again, if he can avoid foul trouble, he will play big minutes. The issue is probably going to be on Jokic. So not ideal. He's fouled out in both games so far, but I still like his upside if you think he can avoid foul trouble. JT Thor, if you think that Gabriel gets in foul trouble, Thor should get extended. So Thor checked in for Gabriel when he fouled out. He played 23 minutes in the game that Gabriel was in massive foul trouble. So if you wanted to play JT Thor and, kind of banking on Gabriel foul trouble, I don't think it's the worst idea. I don't love the price, but, Thor is a guy that's a relative value usage player on this team. And then I think 2 of the more popular plays for tomorrow are going to be Omat and Kual. Omat, 27 and 28 minutes, has really played well so far, getting a good amount of shots up too. I will say I think he's a bit overperformed so far in the Olympics, but the minutes have been very solid. The price is reasonable. And then Kual just had a massive game last time out. 35 minutes, 34 fantasy points. I would say, again, a bit of an outlier. The concern I have with Kual and Omat is I think they're going to be extremely popular, but if they continue to both play, close to 30 minutes at their respective price points, they're really good plays in the mid-range. And then off the bench, they really tightened the rotation. So the bench guys didn't get a ton of run. Peter Jock, 12 minutes. Not completely out of play, but don't love it. Jang at 4-6 only played 9 minutes. Malik played like a couple minutes. That was basically it. So they really tightened up the rotation last game. And then finally, Serbia. So Serbia should win this game pretty easily. But obviously Serbia still needs to win. So if South Sudan can keep it competitive, you should see good minutes for the main guys. And I think Jokic is a top play on the slate. And only 23 minutes against Puerto Rico and for 51 fantasy points. So ceiling is just massive on Jokic. So he looks great at the top. Bogdanovic 9-1, more of a contrarian play. If you were to fade Jokic, I don't hate in like a large field tournament taking a shot on like a low-owned Bogdanovic and kind of hope Bogdanovic takes over. But fade to Jokic on a 2-game slate is definitely risky. And then, Micic got extended a little bit last time out because of the blowout, so don't love the price there. Petrushev tilted me, shot 7 of 9 he was over-owned last slate, 16 minutes, 7 of 9, 27 fantasy points. I think he's reasonable, but I don't think we can expect this type of shooting, right? He's so far in the Olympics, he has shot 9 of 11. That will not continue, right? And then Jovic, so he came off the bench, played 18 minutes. Again, was a blowout. Don't love the price, but I think he's playable. And then like this group of guards all look pretty similar. Avramovic, Dobric, Marinkovic, Guduric. I don't really have any strong takes on any of them. I think they're all pretty similar to me. So those guys all kind of filler plays. All of them should play, around high teens to low 20s minutes, right? Like Avramovic, 20 and 17 minutes last couple games. Dobric, 18, 20 minutes. Marinkovic, 20 and 18 minutes. Guduric, 13, 18 minutes, right? So they're all look pretty similar to me. Now, I do like Melatonov once again for value. 15 minutes in back-to-back games. He was someone that I prioritized last slate. And if this game does blow out, he will get extended. Also, again, he can play some alongside Jokic. We saw that in game 1 where he played, 6 minutes alongside Jokic. So I think he's a solid value. And then that's basically it for Serbia. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the video. Again, if you are looking for more content, check out my Patreon link down below. But if you do enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll see you guys all in the next video.